How one smoke detector could have potentially killed 10 people. The story about how one smoke detector could have saved or potentially killed 10 people. I work as a tech at my local hospital. We have 2 offices that we work out of depending on what shift we're working. First shift works in the main office, second and third work out of our server room. Being that it was a Saturday, I was the only person in IT there that day, so my office was completely empty except for me. As I'm doing my normal thing in our main office, like closing tickets and praying no one calls, I hear a code red get called over the intercom for the floor I'm on. Now, code red in our hospital means there's a fire. One person from each floor grab a fire extinguisher and get to that floor as soon as possible. Our office takes up about half of the floor. The code red is called on the other side where all of the nurses are. Since there are 10 nurses working at a given time and I'm half a floor over, I just ignore it and go back to what I'm doing. A minute or 2 passes and that code red gets updated to fire alert. Data center. At this point my head pops up like a meerkat and I let out a blood-curdling, holy-ish, and I'm pretty sure I left a trail of visible light behind me as I cleared an entire floor in the matter of a few seconds. This was the case because I know that all nurse managers have a master key that can open up the doors to our server room. Now, as I'm sure you are all aware, in a server room fire halon gas is released to suffocate the fire. And these 10 people, who are unaware of this, are walking into this directly. As I make my way to the hallway where our server room is, I see the door shut behind the last person going in. I open up the door to hear if the halon sirens are going off. And thankfully they were silent. The halon gas didn't get released and there was no fire in our server room, thank God. What happened was that we had a contractor installing rafters above our servers in case the floor above us would flood. The rafters would drain the water away from the servers and save them. What the genius didn't do was clean off the top of the servers. There were chunks of ceiling tile and enough dust to turn the black servers white. Enough dust was kicked up by the moving air to set off a smoke detector and trigger the code red. Our halon gas gets released when 2 smoke detectors are triggered. Only one was set off in this major blunder. It was at this point when my boss came in that we realized that we don't have any procedures for when we have a server fire. Also, what you have to take into account is that these nurses aren't bringing halon fire extinguishers as well, so they weren't doing us any favors by trying to put it out. So you guys decide, was it one smoke detector that saved 10 people or was it one that could have killed 10 people? One app wasn't working, so I deleted all of them. Just got off this one. User is a customer service agent who somehow managed to finagle local admin rights. Me. Thank you for calling, company IT. How may I help you? User. Hi, 2 weeks ago I have problem with app name. Problem happened after Windows 10 upgrade. Today I recover my computer in window recovery because app name not working. IT say delete all apps. I click OK. Now nothing there. I delete all apps accidentally. Now I want them back. Me, in sheer disbelief due to what I've heard, repeat statement, remotes in. Sure enough, all of her apps had been removed. Her office had no local IT. Reimage not possible. Restore not possible because the app that manages backups had been deleted. I spent the next 3 hours getting her PC back on the network and to the point where the dozens of apps were reinstalling. I admit, I lost a little faith in humanity today. User. A music collection on my server? Must have been nice. Several years ago, but this century at least, the company I worked for at the time contacted software development out to a company in India called Value Labs. We ran a virtual infrastructure and they hit virtual desktops to do their work via RDP. After a while, one of our dev servers had about 10 gigabytes of space disappear and it was pretty tight. The dev environment manager came to me to figure it out. It turned out one of the developers had pulled down 10 gigabytes of music, hidden it on a share and was streaming it over the RDP session. Rather than just delete this collection of Hindi music, I decided to get creative. I wrote a batch file that collected all the file names, and instead of deleting, replaced the content of the file with the crazy frog. The total size when done, only used 250 megabytes. The dev env manager was worried, asking what happens if the guy complains. I explained that it would never happen. Who complains that their illegally copied music library stored on the server owned by the company that your company is contacted to has been corrupted? Who would they complain to and how would they keep their job after admitting to illegally storing copyrighted music on a client's servers? My only regret is that I never saw the look on the guy's face when he realized how busted he was. Thanks for watching and don't forget to give a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Have a good one.